Hey YouTube, Colby coming to you from Muffler Tech, and today's video is going to talk about driving a Honda Accord once the catalytic converter has been stolen. And can you do it? And should you do it? All right, I walked you into our back shop where we do a lot of different type of repairs, not just exhaust, but this is where we store the cars overnight. And you can see we are absolutely packed with Honda Accords. This is specific to the 03 to 07 category, and this has become the new kind of leader in catalytic converter theft. All right, so we go to get into your Accord. We go to start it. That's a surprise a lot of you unfortunately are familiar with. So I've shut the door, and I believe that the noise hopefully isn't drowning out the audio here, so you guys can hear what I'm saying. But car is obviously super loud. Somebody has stolen the catalytic converter off of it, and like the video I've done on the Prius, I want to show you guys that you can drive these cars with the part missing off of the vehicle. Now, one of the things I want to go over that is different than the Generation 2 Prius is that when they steal the parts on the 03 to 07 Honda Accords, they also commonly take what we call the head pipe in the business. If you go to order it from Honda or as an aftermarket part, the parts companies refer to this as the A pipe. Now, I've gone over this in some of my other videos on these cars, and the reason I'm bringing it up is not just to educate you on the parts that are actually missing, but also what is important to know is that in that pipe is the air-fuel ratio sensor. And unlike the Generation 2 Prius that has the air-fuel ratio sensor in the exhaust manifold, the Honda Accord of this genre has the sensor in the side of the pipe. And I'll show you that here momentarily so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I certainly have outlined that in some of my other videos. All right, so this is what I was calling the head pipe, or what parts stores will refer to as a head pipe. This is where it bolts up to the exhaust manifold, and the pipe comes down underneath the oil pan, flex pipe, and then this is the proprietary flange that bolts to factory catalytic converter assembly. What I want to talk about as far as what the air-fuel ratio specifically is, where this hole is right here. This is called a bung, O2 sensor bung specifically. Sorry for the background noise, guys. It's an operational shop, very busy here. But in this pipe is what would be what a lot of people refer to as an O2 sensor. This is actually an air-fuel ratio sensor. It looks exactly the same, and that's what would happen is it would go in here, and it screws in and attaches here. Then, of course, the plug here goes into the vehicle's ECU, and this sensor is what looks at the exhaust through these little vents here and evaluates the air-fuel ratio in the exhaust, and that's what gives information to the ECU to be able to adjust the fuel injection accurately. When this is gone, or when they steal this part, and the reason they take it, guys, isn't because any of this is worth any money. It's because it's much easier. The cat would sit here, and what they do is what I believe they do is they unbolt it here first, because unbolting it here at the manifold makes no noise, okay? And then they cut the wires to the O2 sensor, come back here, and where the cat would length out to about right here, and then they make their final cut the wires to the O2 sensor on the cap, and they take it. If the thief waits to do the Sawzall cut to the very end of the theft, they are making noise on the end of them leaving, and they don't have to worry about getting caught as quickly. All right, so to address what it means to drive a car without an air-fuel ratio sensor hooked up, I've come over to my good friend's Andre's shop, Prestige Auto Works in Sacramento. They are very well established. I've been doing business with Andre for a long time, and like us, pays a lot of attention to their reviews online and customer service. very well knowledgeable around kind of the general stuff around auto repair, and they do all kinds of different cars here. A lot of European, a lot of Japanese, but just a great place for overall vehicle repair in the Sacramento area. All right, guys, this is Andre Kamel. He owns Prestige Auto Works, and he's going to allow me to ask him a couple questions about this. And just real simply, Andre, when a cat is stolen on an Accord and they take the air-fuel ratio sensor, what happens to the car?
So basically, a couple things. So of course, noisy, and that might scare a customer off, the driver off. On the emission side, computer goes to has a safe mode, so it goes to a total rich, so that way it's protecting itself from being lean and cause internal heat and damage. Other than that, really nothing. Just be aware, make sure double check if you have a gas leak, so you don't cause, in case spark coming out of the exhaust, and don't cause like a fire on your vehicle.
Yeah, so essentially somebody that has their cat stolen, wants to bring it to the shop to have it fixed, doesn't want to spend the money on towing it for the obvious stuff like fuel leaks and things out to look for, but it won't do any damage to the car. The car goes to a full rich run condition. It won't actually hurt the engine or any sort of permanent damage to the car.
Absolutely.
Okay, well that's the main thing I wanted to address, and man, we certainly appreciate your time. Thanks very much, Andre. But on with driving the car, missing the parts. As I'm sure you can hear in the background, the engine is rather loud, and when you accelerate, it's clearly a lot noisier because you're feeding the engine fuel and air and creates more combustion and makes a lot more sound. So what I want to make sure I'm conveying to you is that, or that I want to translate, I should say to you, is that the only reason that I'm doing this and showing you that these cars are drivable is for the sole purpose of those of you that don't have comprehensive insurance, that have, I'm going to put on my seatbelt here, I've gotten criticism for that in past videos. Let's be safe, everybody. For those of you that don't have the comprehensive coverage, which is part of a full coverage under your insurance, a stolen cat, by the way, is a comprehensive claim. It is not an at-fault claim, so it's a comprehensive claim. But for those of you that don't have the coverage or don't have a paid tow service or a prepaid tow service, I want to illustrate that driving these cars to a repair shop is certainly a possibility. Now, is that legal? Not really. And so very important to understand too is that right now we are operating a vehicle missing its emissions components, and that is under the vehicle code, at least in California. That is not a legal thing we can do. But I feel very badly for the mass amounts of people this is happening to, and unfortunately, because of the age of these cars, a lot of people don't have the coverage, and we are seeing anywhere from 5 to 10 of these cars come into the shop a day, and I would say about 30 to 40% of the people don't have the coverage, and they're having to pay for this themselves. So you add in $50, $80, $150 tow to that, it just it makes it, the process and the kind of the negativity around it even that much bigger. Now, certainly the lion's share of the repair is going to be the converter and the labor and the things like that to fix it. But why not save money where we can? And so you can see as I'm kind of strolling through town here, what the car is like, what it sounds like. Of course, that coming across in a video is different than real life. But to give you an idea, I am raising my voice a little bit, but not like I'm yelling, like I'm trying to talk to somebody at a loud concert or something like that. The car, once you get to cruising speed, like right now we're on a surface street neighborhood, I'm doing 28 miles an hour, and it's actually pretty tame. It's not that loud. Now, if I accelerate, obviously it makes a lot more sound. The key is to kind of manage your throttle inputs. Now, in a moment here, I'm going to transition to the freeway and give you guys an idea what it's like at cruising speed. And that's one of the things I talk to a lot of my customers about that do plan on driving their cars into the shop to get it fixed, is that most of your journey, if you can plan it that way, do the freeway, because the freeway is actually the least offensive on sound. Not just because the car's at a cruising speed, but also because you're on the freeway. You're not on a surface street. There's nobody walking down a sidewalk. There's no homes. There's likely going to be lots of big trucks and other vehicles making lots of noise. So the offensiveness to the environment is pretty well taken away. So we're going to fast forward here in just a second. We'll be on the freeway. Acceleration to get the speed here. There's 50 miles an hour. Got a truck in front of me here, so I can't get too aggressive. But it does give you an idea on under acceleration how loud it gets. Now that's 65 miles an hour. We shift into high gear. Now we're cruising at 65. And I mean, it's certainly not as quiet as it is when it has a catalytic converter, but you can see it's not offensive at all. The car's running just fine. Just like with Andre's recommendation, or his what he gave us in information, the car is running full rig, so we're certainly not getting very good fuel mileage right now. But it's not that loud, and the car is running just fine. Again, no reason to not consider driving it to the shop, especially if a good portion of your trip is freeway. So there you go. All right, guys. Well, there you go. That's a demonstration of driving a 03 to 07 Honda Accord missing its catalytic converter. I want to make sure that I include a disclaimer. As I mentioned earlier in the video, it is technically not legal to drive a car missing its emissions component. Muffler Tech certainly takes no or assumes no liability around that, and your choice to do so. Also, very important, as Andre mentioned, check the car, make sure you don't smell any fuel. If you drive a car missing its exhaust system, especially in a rich running condition, and you've got a fuel leak, you could possibly start a fire on the car or somewhere else. So that is on you, and we as a business accept no liability around that. So anyway, hey, thanks very much for watching. As usual, please like, subscribe if you want to see future videos around catalytic converter theft. I also do videos of performance exhaust systems and changes and things like that. I certainly appreciate the subscription. And you can see us at Muffler Tech in Sacramento. We're happy to help if you have any catalytic converter theft or anything around your exhaust needs. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.